first of all the beautiful artwork in here, the Stations of the Cross, and the stained glass windows, especially the older ones. And they're from churches of the early 1900s that were being renovated. In fact, the stained glass windows, I believe, are from the Cathedral of London in London, Ontario, St. Peter's. And they're Austrian, probably late 19th century, so they're works of art in themselves. The Stations of the Cross were painted in Germany, and they're from, as well, from St. Peter's in London, Ontario, and they're quite beautiful as well. The pews were donated, many of them, from a church in Toronto, St. Peter's. And so what we have here is sort of a cottage-like affair with secondhand things, although quite beautiful, being brought to this church. In fact, a lot of this building, the wood, came from the old shrine that I mentioned earlier that was in Wabashing between 1907 and 1924. Now, what we have when it comes to the inside of the church is the use of paneling for the first time in a commercial setting. It's called Lamco. It's made out of cottonwood, and originally Father Fillion, who was the builder of the shrine, wanted to use birch bark, so it wouldn't work. It wouldn't be able to be bent. So instead, this cottonwood was imported from British Columbia, this paneling, and it makes it a darker feel in here. But the image you get is like a native longhouse, first of all. And the way the roof has been designed, it was, the church was built by shipbuilders from Midland, and the arch of the roof is basically an inverted hull. And once the paneling has been put on it, you get the impression of an overturned canoe. And so on the outside we have stonework, which makes the church look quite European, Belgian Gothic. But when you walk inside with the warmth of the wood interior, you have the feel of a Canadian native longhouse. And so the blending of two cultures coming together in a very, very special way. But here we have what we call relics. And in the Catholic Church, we believe that the body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, that through baptism we become agents of God's grace to the world. And so those who are considered holy and who die, and we believe are with God in a very special way, we honor their remains also in a very special way. And these remains are called relics of the saints. So of course, this being Martyrs Shrine in honor of the Jesuit missionaries that we're here, we have the relics of 3 of those men, because the bodies of the other 5 were never recovered. So relics of St. John of Brébeuf we still have, relics of St. Gabriel Alamont we still have, and relics of St. Charles Garnier we have. And here we have some of the more precious ones. First, the smaller one, I'll start here. It was a gift of the French Jesuits of Paris community, and they gave this to the shrine, I believe, in 1932. And it's a coffin holding smaller bones of Brébeuf, Lalemant, and Garnier, even though the relics are quite small in there, but the presentation is quite beautiful. Now, however, this relic over here, the larger one, has a very interesting story. And when you look at it, of course, we see a skull, and it is the skull of St. Jean of Brébeuf. It has smaller relics inside of Lalemant and Garnier as well. We have present another relic, a smaller relic, of Blessed Catherine Tecatuita, who was an Iroquois woman and became a Christian and wanted to take a vow of virginity, perpetual virginity, and she had to leave her homeland because her family wanted her to get married. So she left upper New York State, near Fonda, New York, Orisville, in that area there, and lived a short life. She died at the age of 24, just outside Montreal. In fact, many of the immigrants that come here from all over the world have been educated by Jesuits, because Jesuit schools are everywhere. And so when they come here, they have already heard about the Canadian Martyrs. Some of the missionaries that are here now, some of the Jesuits that are here now, are from India. And they're thrilled that they're able to say Mass, let's say at St. Ignace, where Brebeuf and Lallemant were martyred. They're thrilled to visit St. Marie. They're just, because their vocation was inspired by the witness of these men. And so even though the shrine may be seen like a church in the middle of nowhere, Tay Township, Midland, it's well renowned around the world for the story that took place here.